When you have your lovely inner child in the forefront, so you're emotionally aware, accountable, self-regulating, you know about maladaptive, adaptive child behavior and responses, you can, in all the ways you would like, to disengage from having to prove to yourself or anyone anything, because it's an emotional response to this. Is we're going to get into it in a minute, so you can stop the having to prove to yourself. We do discuss this in the inner growth mindset, the intermediate level. And that's because those of us who are an inner child, who is a whole inner child, and when I say that, what I mean is that you got lucky. I know I did. I have secure attachment. Remember, I'm not going to be looking at you in the camera. I'm having things around me. But if you don't know who I am, I'm Maria. I'm the woo-woo pseudoscience lady because I am a 5D mystic. So woo-woo because, mystics are not something every person believes in, because they're not mystics, and it's not something you prove, right? Here's where I'm spirituality. That's when you move and believe and do things beyond the solo self. I started with Jesus and God, and today I can use the word Akash without anybody getting, too quote unquote upset, but really it's a relational field, it's an energetic field. And what I love about also the pseudoscience is out of respect for the academics, because I love academia. I have a master's degree, so I love seeing neuroscience and physicists, I want to say, but long story short, they know about the flow state in our brain. Mystics, that's why our clairs, they're not a special gift. Nobody's looking for a little star. Those are people on Elsa's journey. And in fact, they are trying to prove themselves to themselves. So when somebody is a mystic, and I've seen them gotten basically called woo-woo, they get offended. Like, why would you get offended? You should, you could know, like I know in my left mode of the brain, that a person who is a scientist, they're not going to believe because they don't experience, perceive, or understand what it is like to have downloads. I also know, though, as a left brainer with my right brainer, that I can't prove it. So me trying to, why one would I? I have healthy self-worth, though. Okay, so on that note, again, having to prove to yourself or anyone is an adaptive child, emotional, insecure behavior. You can stop it. And we talk about how to be yourself, because I didn't lose my restorative embodiment. I didn't lose my innocence. My 0-1-year-old attached, panicky, didn't lose itself. And my 3 to 7 shame submissive, those are our charged states as children. We all have them according to the good attachment trauma information. Not everybody believes in it. The ones who do, they're using it on Elsa's journey, and then there are others who come together. Okay, so first of all, Elsa's journey, when she gets to the end, show yourself, I'm dying to meet you, it's her own 3-year-old. And any person who tries to prove to themselves, so from my experience, my main driver, the dominant one, I maintained my differentiated 3-year-old self, so I didn't lose any of time, luckily, and I stayed gooey, ooey, ooey. And here's why: my divine feminine, my body, communicates really great with my divine masculine, my mind. And yes, I also have divine masculines from my oversoul, because I'm the divine feminine. You'll know what you are. You won't have any doubt. Oh, and there's no twin flame saga, because empowered divine feminines are actually connected to the sphere of Akash. Okay, so empowerment, the frequency to show up fully and completely, uniting you with others in deep trust that we're all connected through the same source, and we're brothers and sisters. I learned that from Jesus. I learned that from God. I learned that from being a mystic. That's why there's no energy vampires or dark auras. But there are people that are on a evil scale. Michael Stone is the forensic criminologist who has an evil scale 1 to 22. They all need good therapists. Then I know of lovely therapist Patrick Tiahan, who shares how the codependent type people will not do emotional lifting. They'll project their maladaptive child behavior through codependent type relationships. So blamers, victims, martyrs, superiors, they meet each other and they continue that. And so they continue to try to prove to themselves and each other. I like to compare it to Cusco's, squirrels. They're not pachas. Pinocchios with tails and ears, and so the fucking, the drinking, the drugging, and all the things that I, as a teenager, was like, okay, these are not cool things. I mean, grown-ups stay informed through DARE, all my middle school once I got, yeah, so pretty common sense. But what I learned, thank you, Patrick Chiahan, is that people who have childhood trauma, they date individuals based on what their dysfunctional, dysregulated nervous system is seeking. So when you have to prove yourself and you're in a shame cycle, you're going to tend to not actually notice things about how people are treating you, because you don't have the integration of the brain consciousness, and you're actually not even bothering to notice how somebody's treating you, but you also don't have experiences. So long story short, for other episodes we had today, let me stay on track. When you are a whole inner child, I was a whole inner child, I learned I'm not going to prove to myself that I can do good, but I also saw that I was doing it, like with my schoolwork. I would get grades and I would get really, really upset when I didn't have good grades, and I would get so upset that I would call up my mother, and this was in college years, so I was already in my early 20s, and I was crying. This was one of the last times it was the last time, because I was upset because I had gotten low grades because I did sciences, and I'm not good in sciences. I'm also not good in regurgitation of material, and one of my sciences was with the lab. So one, I thought intro courses were easier. That's when I learned that intro courses are not the easier ones. They teach you about everything of the subject matter. So yeah, mine I think it was statistics or math, because my political science major required math, and I'm poor in math. And then it was biology intro or something like that. And then I got the one on, because I needed the lab, and it was bones and body. I forget what the word is right here, see? And I remember the lab because we had this test where we had to remember like every part of the bone. Yeah, see, I don't know how to keep words in my mouth because that's how my brain works. So anyways, my mom's like, what are you going to do? Kill yourself? I was like, no, because I love life. Okay, so when you have a securely attached body and your differentiated self, the mammalian heritage, my lovely everyday, is full of the rest and rejuvenate. So when you're a restorative embodiment, you all can get here. You're not going to try to prove yourself. While my main driver, dominant, was self and still is self-agency, which changes temperament. Thank you, Daniel Siegel. So when you have integration of the brain, secure attachment, you're able to have really great awareness of yourself because of the restorative embodiment. Okay, and on that note, I'm trying to figure out how to look at you all, but since I won't be successful in this round, let me also share Sadhguru's wisdom. If you truly create what you care for and you get 2 opportunities to do it, it is even better than not having it. So it means you try again, right? So when you enjoy life, like a gooey, ooey, ooey 3-year-old, 1-year-old, because you didn't lose your innocence, because you don't distrust humanity, you don't become a misanthropist and say, I hate humans, I don't trust humans, I dislike humans. Or, for example, for weddings and marriage, misogamists, or the hatred of women, and sexism, misogynists, or the hatred of men, misandronists. These are all unfortunate businesses because they're all people who, 1, could go to good therapy and get out of that, but 2, they don't know how every storm is an opportunity to go home to yourself and to have compassion and to look at yourself. So see, that's where, did I have a home where everybody was treating me with curiosity, or did I have a home where I was not accepted? If I wasn't accepted, then I will intuitively know I'm bringing to other people something. Also, if somebody's suffering, here's what happens. If you're not truly creating what you care for, right? And therefore you're suffering and not enjoying the process, then you don't want another opportunity to create what you care for. And he shares, Sadhguru again, if suffering the process, whenever something doesn't go the way you want, you get freaked out, you get upset. But if you enjoy the process, you'll enjoy getting a second opportunity. Okay, so to have to prove yourself is for a adaptive child. We all end with that teenager charge state. I became aware at my 20-ish. I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I love life, and it is silly. Life is a great mystery, beautiful. Life always, with the leaps of faith, brings more. This is what I've noticed as a 5D mystic, which is why our twin flame and flames and soulmates, there's no actual saga, because we're already and always dreaming our world into reality by singing our song. This is beautiful about you being a 5D person. It's emotional awareness, accountability, maturity, self-empowerment. We talk about love and more. Let's trust in each other. This and that are true. Magic works through each and every one of us when we can come together for secure attachment relationships. Tune in for more.